Okay, here come the cuss words. I'll try to beep them all out. I'll try not to use them. Okay, be a good person. All right, guys, welcome back. My name is Shauna. This is Making Everyday Magic. We're a homeschooling family of 4, 7th year of homeschooling, 6th grader, 2nd grader. It's been a little while, and it is time again to remind you that you simply don't have to. Before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. Okay, so I feel compelled to come here every so often and share my feelings on things in the world. Right now, and increasingly so, people are coming to homeschooling, and I'm excited about that. For them, for me, for you, for their children. I also feel like it is not entirely, but there is a segment of it that is coming. We've had this discussion before. It's coming from a place of fear and also control, and not necessarily. Not that they don't want their kid to have the best education, but I don't feel like the motivation is the best for their kid. And they would argue that it is because they're making these paths so that it will be the best for their kid, but it's not really. It's a loud group that is doing it because and maybe it's not everywhere, but that's what I'm seeing here in Texas. It's a loud group that's doing it because they, don't want pronouns or gender whatevers or any of this or any of that. And I'm not gonna tell you that your motivations for homeschooling are wrong. I just want to speak to the rest of you and let you know that just because someone is loud or someone is telling you how to do something or why to do something, and this is the whole reason I started this channel, you don't have to do that. You simply don't have to, okay? So if you want to homeschool in a way that doesn't bring in God or Jesus, you don't have to. If you want to be a secular homeschooler, but you want to have a personal faith and people are telling you that you can't do that, you don't have to. You don't have to abandon your personal faith in order to be a secular homeschooler. You don't have to. You don't have to, despite what everyone seems to do. Oh, I'll send them back for high school. You don't have to send them back for high school. You don't have to homeschool from a place of fear. You don't have to homeschool because someone is making you. I would argue the only thing you have to do is adhere to your local homeschool laws so that you are legal. You don't have to get tutors for your kids. You don't have to have a teaching degree to homeschool your kids. I want to come here and I want to remind you that despite loud voices, despite the noise, you don't have to adhere to that. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to justify what you're doing to anybody outside of your home and your kid and your parent, like the other parent. You don't have to do that. You don't have to homeschool because you think the schools are garbage. You don't have to homeschool because you're worried about indoctrination. You don't have to homeschool because you're scared. You don't have to homeschool because there's no other alternative. It's just, you can choose this because it's just what you thought was best, and that's good enough. You also don't have to keep homeschooling. You don't have to. If it's not working for you, don't do it. Don't think that you have to do it. You also don't have to make a forever decision right now. You don't have to. You don't have to know what you're going to do for 10th grade and 1st grade. You don't have to worry about the fact that you've made one decision, but now you realize that's not a great decision. You don't have to keep going. You don't have to stick with it just because you said you would. You don't have to. It is important to me that we as parents recognize the power that we have, but also stay humble enough to know we don't have to. We don't have to do it just because we said we would. We don't have to use it just because we bought it. We don't have to crack open that teacher manual just because it came to the house. We don't have to, okay? We don't have to keep them in their grade level if it's not working for them. You can move them up, or you can move them down, or you can try something new. You don't have to do it just because you are currently doing it. You don't have to do it because you said you would. You don't have to do it because someone else did it. You don't have to. I'm constantly reminded of the Adele song where she's like, I'm a grown woman and I do what I want to do. That's exactly right. You don't have to. You don't have to homeschool out of fear. You don't have to join a co-op. I personally have found out I don't like group learning. That is not for me. I don't want to be part of, a member of a co-op. I don't want my children to go somewhere else to learn something. I want social activities. I've realized this. I don't want to group learn. That's not for me. I don't have to. So often we get lost and caught up in the noise, and I feel like the noise right now is getting loud. I don't know that it is a noise. No, I do know. I do know it's not a noise for everyone. It's not a noise that I would argue a lot of people agree with. And even if they thought they did and now they didn't, or some of and not all of, I'm not here to question your motivation. You do you, girlfriend. But I don't want you to think that because it's happening over there, because someone's being loud, because it's existing over there and it's noisy and they're telling you how you should do it, that you should do it. You don't have to, okay? So you don't have to pull your kids out and homeschool them if you don't want to. You don't have to keep homeschooling if you don't want to. You also don't have to send them back to school if you don't want to. You don't have to. There is no obligation here. Okay? Do what works best for you. Do what works best for you. Right now. You don't have to commit to forever. You also don't have to commit for even next Tuesday. Right now, if it works, do what works. You don't have to stress. You don't have to. You do not have to stress. You can always change your mind. There are honestly very few big, giant consequences here. You just have to come here and do your best for you, for your kid. Show up. Show up for your family. Show up for your homeschool. Show up for your family if that means sending them to school. Do what you can. Do your best. It's good enough. And just remember, despite the noise, despite what's happening, you don't have to. I wanted to come here. Sometimes it helps to hear, I don't want to call myself a voice of reason, but let's say a voice of moderation. Sometimes it helps to know that you can quit. Sometimes it helps to know you don't have to keep going. Sometimes it helps to know if you want to homeschool from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. because that's what works for everybody in your home, that's okay. You don't have to do it at 8 a.m. You don't have to model a school day. Matter of fact, please don't. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the noise, and I feel like the noise is taking a turn that we don't all necessarily agree with or condone or prove it. I'm here because I think it's the best choice for my kid. That's it. Okay? I have a personal faith. That faith does not come to my homeschool. That's it. It's that simple. I reevaluate often, and until I don't think this is the best course for us, then we're going to keep doing it. I, as of now, have zero plans to send them to a brick and mortar traditional school setting because I don't have to. If that ever becomes the right decision, then we will do that because I don't have to keep homeschooling. I don't have to. I can do what works. I can do what works for right now, me, right now. And that's good enough. And it's good enough for you too. And you don't have to listen to me, but I hope you heard what I'm saying. Guys, I hope that any of this was helpful, entertaining, or informative. If it was, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, give yourself some grace. And as always, guys, be kind. Be kind. Be kind. Be kind. Be kind. And remember, the squeaky wheels get the grease, and the world's getting weird. Just do your best. That's the only thing you have to do.